Hey YouTube, Townhouse Gardener here, and I have an update. It's been about 2.5–3 weeks since my last one. As you can see, there's not a whole lot going on. Sorry for the wind. Hopefully it won't mess with the audio too much. But just to do a quick update, I've changed a few things. My rain barrel, I now have it on cinder blocks rather than those other decorative pavers. And I used to have an issue with the water. It would come out so fast, it would end up hitting this edge, going over and then down the siding. I have too much water here. It just gets super muddy here. I had this disconnected for a little bit in our last rainstorm. Everything just came out and fell. But so what I did was I cut the bottom of this, and then the end I took it and I bent it down in hopes to stop the water somewhat speed wise, and then just to go right into it. And then for now, while I'm not trying to save the water, I have two hoses set up. One goes out my gate and just down into a low spot outside, and the other one just goes right into the back. But this is, I'll get into that in a little bit, what this hose is for. But anyway, here's my update. So far, I finally got my wood chips on top. And what I have done, before I put the wood chips down on all my beds, I put just stuff that I already had. I put some bone meal that I already had. I actually bought it's like agricultural lime, I believe it's called. I got the fast acting stuff last year, which was like $5 for a 6-pound bag. So instead, because I did it so much earlier, I was able to get a 40-pound bag for $4.25. So I was able to cover all my beds, including the side, including the front, and still have lime left over. So I put the bone meal down. I put the lime down. I had some azomite, so I spread that on everything, and then I put the wood chips down. And on top, you can see I just had some ash from the fireplace, as well as a buddy of mine has some chickens, so he let me scoop up some of his chicken manure, and I spread that as well. So these are more or less just sitting here waiting. Over here, I still do have some leeks planted, which I'm just letting them go. Back here, I covered my strawberries, so hopefully the older ones will just die off and then the new ones will come back out. Over here, I still have, it's just garlic and onions and leeks, and everything else is just kind of sitting there. This is the only bed that I didn't cover with the wood chips because of I just have so much growing in it still. Although I found that once I put the lime down, it almost seemed like it was burning my plants. They started browning, they started dying off. Since I put the chicken manure, things seem to be bouncing back a little bit. But even over here, these brown tips, that all happened from the lime. I don't know what the real issue is, why it did that, but it did. So, and also, sorry, I have a problem with moving the camera too fast. I try to get through this, so sorry if I make anybody dizzy. I'll try to move it a little bit slower. Over here, I had another bin which had just rainwater in it, but I'm changing my whole rainwater setup. So I will get to that in a second. But there's not really a whole lot going on. I still have a couple rutabagas. My Brussels sprouts plant is there. I have my herbs, which I'm going to be switching these to my side bed. And that's really about it. There's not a whole lot. I finally got my whole layout of how I want to plant my garden, which I'll get to that in another video probably. But I'm trying to get my spring, my summer, my fall, everything set up so I can have a real good plan. This whole bed here, I'm thinking about going and making it just straight strawberries, so that way my daughter can come out with me. And my daughter's 9 months old already, and she'll be able to, hopefully by June or July, she'll be walking and she can come out with me and pick strawberries and eat them. And then these are all the pots that I used to have that I put them on Craigslist. I'm just selling them. I don't need them. And I had 4 large ones like this, which I sold them the day I put them up there, which was pretty cool. It helped to fund my buying my seeds. I also bought some seeds, which are supposed to be here today from rareseeds.com, in which case I'll be putting a video up of those as well. Let me see what else. This is the rain barrel that I used to have in the back, which is going to be switching, which let me get to. On my side garden, oh, this is the hose too. It just goes, I have a low point between our houses and I just have it sitting there. The side bed is pretty normal. These are the chips that I've had on here for a while. But I did go ahead and spread some azomite and some lime, as well as up here in the front. So everything is, like, see, the lime just destroyed. I had broccoli, and the lime just destroyed it. The kale did fine. Kale is very hardy, I know, but it just destroyed my broccoli. So let me get to, this is some of my new stuff that I'm going to be doing is back here. Okay. Somebody had given me some barrels. I'm not a huge fan of these kind. I like the ones that the whole top comes off. So I'm thinking about selling these on Craigslist and getting the other kinds like what I have. But I'm not really sure. This is my compost pile, which has just been sitting here. Which, these are the stones that I had my other rain barrel sitting on, which weren't very stable. So I moved them out here. And my goal is to level this off inside here. And I should be able to fit 1, 2, 3. I can probably fit 4 barrels back here. And right now I have these 2 plus the one inside. And then I can always just add to it as I need. But the hose that came out, this is the one that goes to my other barrel. I need a longer one. But it's going to connect to the bottom of one of the barrels, and then all of those are going to connect as well. So that way they'll all fill at the same time, and then they're going to be sitting on some cinder blocks, and I'm going to have a PVC pipe come out of the one, come through my fence, and I'm going to mount it on the side of one of my posts. So that way I can have my barrels be outside the fence, but that way I can still have access to it inside the fence. So I'm hoping just to maximize my space that much more. We'll see how it goes. I'm trying to I don't spend any money, or at least I try not to spend any money on the garden. I try to make it self-sustaining. So like these pots, I sold some of them in order to buy the seeds that I needed. And now, as I sell more, I'll buy the cinder blocks for the rain barrels. Ultimately, I want to get a small pump to use. So anyway, here's my update. And I am kind of cold. I think it's like 35 degrees today in Virginia Beach. And yeah, so here's my update. If you have any questions, thoughts about it, but this is I'm going full on with my Back to Eden garden, covering with the wood chip, seeing how it goes. I even spread it around in my paths between to help keep the weeds down, and I still have just a little bit of wood chips over there, so I'll probably make my paths built up a little bit more, as well as put it in that bed back there. So anyway, here's my update. I hope you all enjoy. Talk to you later. Bye.